It's good.
It's great.
It's really smooth.
It is.
I like it.
What do you think about that Spotify idea I have for you?
I don't know. I'm like, what's the novelty of it? Is there an audience that wants to listen to Persian stories?
Anybody with Persian kids and want to teach their kids Farsi. Think about the demographic of Persian people who left Iran. Maybe they live in Germany, or maybe they live in U.S., or maybe they live in Canada, or wherever, and their parents didn't teach them Farsi to the extent that they wish they had. I'm describing myself, and they want to teach their kids Farsi so that they know it better than they do. They have a very scarce resource list where they can go and be like, oh, I want to play them a bunch of, I don't know, Three Little Pigs in Farsi.
That's actually not a bad idea. Translate some of the
Just take these fairy
old
tales
classics.
and just say them
Recently,
in
you know what I
Farsi.
actually did recently? I had ChatGPT rewrite some old classics. Like, the tortoise and the hare?
Yeah, I'm
So you remember what happens in the tortoise and the hare? Who
the
wins?
hare wins. The tortoise wins.
The tortoise wins, right? But in life, the rich get richer. The fastest win. And so I had the Chat GPT do a rewrite. And I said, I want you to come up with a story where the hare wins,
I like that. That's hot.
And it tells you that no matter how slow and steady you go, if you don't have the speed and the talent, you're not going to win.
I like that. That's good.
So,
Now you're onto something.
So the only way you can do it is if you have the speed and talent, you can only lose if you slow down. Right? Why does the hare lose? He has the speed, he has the talent, he should win. But he loses because he stops too long, right?
He takes a break.
He takes a break, right?
Yeah.
What he should have done was, take a break, but make sure he still approximate how much energy he needs to put in to guarantee the win. And I said, you know what? Like, make sure the story teaches you that work smart, not hard. The hare it can work smart by running really fast and then mapping out the way and getting there faster. The tortoise is working hard. So that's a good, you can work hard if you don't have the talent. But if you have the talent, it's yours to lose, essentially.
Well, that's deep.
It's yours to lose. So you're expected to win.
Mm-hmm.
So if you win, okay, you were supposed to win. It's like if you have a basketball team, that's ranked higher, it's an upset if they lose, right? You don't judge both teams equally. They don't have the same talent, right? And same thing with people. Not everyone has the same talent. You have some people have more resources. Some people have parents who are have resources to give them. Some people have knowledge. Some people have stamina. Some people have cleverness, creativity. We don't all have the same things. So the lesson is use what you have efficiently. Don't just be like, okay, I'm going to put my head down and just walk this path. That's stupid. Pick a path that you're going to win in if you put your efforts in.
That's excellent advice.
Yeah. And I think the schools teach the wrong thing. They're like, you can be whatever you want to be. No, not really. You could be whatever you want to be. You're not going to be as good at it as someone else who has talent in that field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? I could be a singer if I want to be. I'm not going to be a very good one. Right? I could be. I could go practice, take lessons, go years, do it. But I'll still never be as good as someone who just has the natural talent for it, who then pursues it and puts in the hard work. So put in the hard work in an area where you have the talent, where you have the edge against everyone else. So if you're good in school, pursue school. If you're good in business, pursue business. It's stupid of you if you're not good in school and you're good in business to go to school. That's foolish. You're gonna be compete. It's like if you're a great basketball player, why would you try to compete in football? You're not gonna be as good. Doesn't matter that you're an athlete. You know what I mean?
I totally understand what you're saying. I think it's advice that should be taught, but it takes a parent like yourself to really make sure their children understand that. I don't know how true this is. I saw something the other day talking about the origins of the school system. Do you know the origin of the school system? Or at least the American education system?
How so? What do you mean?
From what I understand, I think a lot of the funding for public schooling originated from Rockefeller family.
I don't know. Maybe.
They were like low on workers, and they needed to have like a mass system of education to teach them how to, how to do certain skills.
See, education is the great equalizer, right? If you have no resources, meaning you don't have capital to invest, right? You don't have rich parents.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a skill. You're not particularly athletic.
Mm-hmm.
You're not particularly business oriented. If you educate yourself, you'll be able to make a good living.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that good living, that opens you up to figure out something else. You'll be able to elevate your status, right? So if you have no resources, no connections, no nothing, and you can go educate yourself, you'll get a marketable skill. And a marketable skill is something that someone is willing to pay you for to do that skill. Now, if you're really good, you'd be able to market other people's skill. Right? That's really people who are on a different level. Not only can they market their own skill, they make money off other people's talents.
Give me an example. Are you talking about like a headhunter, or like what are you talking about?
No. So let's say I have a business. Let's say you come up with a business idea of someone singing.
Yeah.
And marketing them and making money off that. Now, you don't have any talents of singing, let's say, but you are smart enough to figure out how to market this person and make money off this person's talents, right? Let's say you're not an author. You know how to create a publishing company where you make money off authors, right? But at the very least, if you need to make money for yourself, if you create your own skill, you can always make money off of that. Because if you know how to code, you know how to do something. You know how to treat people. You're a doctor. You're a lawyer. You're a programmer. You're a, engine operator, whatever, an engineer. You'll always be able to get work.
I don't know. The future is looking like there's gonna be a lot less jobs.
Well, I think AI is gonna make things a lot easier for people, actually.
Don't you think that might be like a quick short-term gain, and in the long run being within our lifetime, it's going to go from assisting us to actually doing it?
Well, what's going to happen is,
like right now we can use it as an assistant.
Well, then
it still needs a driver.
Well, no, what you're going to be able to do, it's kind of like anything else. It's going to be exponential, the path forward, right? So the task for human beings is going to be to figure out how to incorporate this technology to get more technology, right? So right now, let's say there's a cap on how much programming a human being can do, right? And so it caps what type of programs you could create and what type of technology you can create. But now you put in AI, now maybe you're able to do something that you weren't able to before. You're able to create a technology that you couldn't do before on your own without AI. Now you're able to program that. Now you're able to get it to do those calculations at a much more rapid rate.
Yeah.
So that it's usable.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, I think the movie industry is a great example. So think about them to try to create CGI or all this stuff. Look how long it takes. It takes months to create those backgrounds.
Yeah.
AI is going to be able to help with that so that you could, in a day, do some of those technical stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So you could start generating content on a daily basis.
You've seen what OpenAI released in terms of their video stuff, right?
I've seen it. I played around with
Oh,
it
really?
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you look
I
into
didn't.
it?
I didn't know that you have access to the video side yet.
Yeah, if you sign up for the
Sora?
ChatGPT 4.
You have Sora?
No, I have ChatGPT 4,
Yeah.
so it gives you access to all the other
It's called
AIs.
Sora. Do you have it?
I don't know what it's called, but I have it. Yeah.
Hold on. So what did you do with the video?
I asked that. I said, make a video of me proposing to my wife. Here's the background. Create a narration. Here's what the narration is.
Uh-huh.
Here's what it is, and then create a video off that.
And
And
what
then
did
it
it make?
created a video.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was pretty good.
And it was pretty good. And you can give them a picture of you or
Yeah,
a video
yeah.
of you, and it will make you into it.
Interesting.
Put them into it.
I didn't know it was public. I thought it wasn't released yet.
I don't know the one you're
No,
referring
I'm
to.
talking
man.
about what you're talking about. You typed in a text and
Mhm.
it gave you a video.
Yeah. Now the video, the first time around, it made no sense. The video, it was a dog barking. It made no sense. So you have to really. So it's not there yet. It's not plug and play quite yet. But I think the initial tools.
I don't know. The one I saw looked very, very high quality, very good. It was what you're describing, text to video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the ones that I've seen that are really cool. Have you seen those models where they change the voice to any famous singer you want? Have you seen like them doing Whitney Houston singing Thriller?
Yeah, actually, I have seen.
Have you
something
seen
like
those
that, yeah.
ones where they have Whitney Houston singing like "Eye of the Tiger"?
I haven't seen that. But
So what they do is they have a person, an actor or
Yeah,
someone.
yeah.
You could sit and sing the part.
Mm-hmm.
You sing the part, and then in the way you want it. So you could sing it however tone you want, and then the computer takes those wave formats. And you say, I want you to make it sound like Michael Jackson or Prince or whoever you want. And then it changes your voice
to match that. Yeah,
to match that.
interesting. This is OpenAI or something else?
This is something else.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's all powered by the OpenAI learning model.
Interesting. I think you were mentioning something about the medical, or maybe I heard some.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have... I don't know if you've ever watched like Star Trek,
Mhm.
how they have the emergency medical hologram.
I don't
So
know.
the ship has a hologram that is
Mhm.
like their chief doctor.
Mhm.
And he's programmed to do surgery and like with all the knowledge of all the medical literature in the world. So he
Mhm.
can quickly diagnose you
Yeah, yeah.
and knows how to do the treatment. So think about it. If you program a robot how to do microsurgery, it's going to be way more accurate and way better than any human could possibly
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's perfect. It's going to do it perfect
Yeah,
every time.
yeah, yeah.
2, it has a perfect recall. It's going to remember everything. It
Mhm.
knows everything
Yeah.
in every language,
Yeah.
not just English, Spanish, whatever. It can read the entire world's knowledge,
Right.
have it,
Yeah,
be able to access it instantaneously,
absolutely.
be able to run an algorithm to give you the highest chance of what, the right thing to do, the
Right.
right treatment.
Right, right.
And so how is it would be like malpractice to have a human being treat
It would
you.
be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like, why would I go to a person when I can go to a machine?
So how is that? How does that jive with legal? That's my point. Isn't it going to get to a point where, why would I get a human? Right? I'm just gonna have this thing tell me what's the best case, analyze my case, analyze the situation. And
It'll
be
it
the judge
probably
of the jury.
will be there at some point. It's
Mhm.
not there now.
no, it's not there now. It's not there now medically.
it
it's not
does
there.
help for sure. It does help. I've tried to use it to what it's really good at is if you have an idea and you want it to generate text
Yeah.
based on your idea,
Yeah.
it's able to do that
Right.
really well. And sometimes if you're a person, you're like, oh man, I don't want to write this motion, I gotta write it. Like, it can do that instantaneously. Say, hey, look, I have an idea. Here's my defense. My defense is they were negligent in allowing this to happen. Here's the basis for that. Make that argument and write it in a formal letter. It'll do that for you instantaneously, and then you can tweak it, change it, dump what you don't like about it, keep what you like about it. And you say, okay, come up with any other arguments along those themes. What else am I missing? I actually used it. For example, I said, hey, look, I have this person who was injured. Here's the fact setup. what are some things that could have caused this injury? What are the things? I don't know what caused it. And I'm like, well, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. I was like, oh man,
Good ideas.
that's great. And then I went down and like looked into it, and I'm like, yeah, that actually could be something that to pursue. So it actually does help with legal work for sure. There's a ton of companies already right now monetizing that and doing that.
Well, they're selling it as a service?
They're selling a subscription to. What they've done is they've taken the OpenAI model and made it work with all the case law and all that stuff. So they have their own proprietary thing, but they've taught it kind of.
It's very specific to all the.
So it's kind of like, how OpenAI, when you open a new chat, it remembers everything you've given it in that chat.
Yeah.
So for example, you give it the background, all of that stuff. When you give it a new command, it already knows everything before it, right? So these companies essentially start a chat, and that's their product, where they've given it a lot of information.
And it's going based on that.
And it's going based on that plus the ChatGPT engine.
Right.
And so everyone is using ChatGPT, but they've created, it's kind of like I told you, the beneficiary of the invention of the refrigerator was Coca-Cola. The refrigerator companies made some money too, but Coca-Cola was the one who essentially used it and said, here's how you use it in a product.
I was driving with the FSD on the other day, and I had a thought. This I think ties in with your malpractice idea. In the insurance world, I think one of the biggest challenges they face is asymmetric information. They don't quite know how fast you drive. They don't know your habits and behavior compared to the next driver. They're really only going off of the accidents that they're aware of and the reported tickets and yada, yada, yada. But they don't really know. So because of that, their pricing is not accurate to you. It's generalized across their clientele.
Sure.
And they make predictions and that. With FSD, I mean, there's obviously things like the apps for whatever, all these insurance companies, they like say, let us track you, right? They use your phone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. State Farm and all of them, like, I don't know which ones, but they basically, you can opt in where it can basically monitor your speed so that they can give you a better pricing model specific to you. But anyways, this is what Tesla also is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla Insurance, if you're not aware, they have.
No, I didn't know that.
Tesla has an insurance division. I have Tesla Insurance. I don't have Geico or whoever, right? And so anyways, I was having this thought. I said, okay, I can imagine a world where the driving is so much better from autonomous driving that instead of the premiums being $250 every 4 months or whatever it is, it will be $25 because they have not just the history of you, because you're not really driving anymore. You're just a supervisor. You're monitoring. They know en masse 6 million cars, 20 million cars using this software performs better than somebody else's software. Let's just say Apple's car, right? You see what I'm saying? So it will take the entire pricing of giving insurance to anybody using this specific software will be this price. Because it's not you driving, it's somebody else driving. You see what I'm saying? And they know exactly how well it performs under all circumstances given the data that they have. What do you think?
See, I think the future of self-driving is going to be geared more towards having designated areas where it's going to be kind of like a train track. A train, unless it gets derailed, is gonna go. It's like it's not gonna get lost. It's not gonna crash. It's not gonna hit a tree, right? And to a certain extent, you could program cars to follow along a train, like a train track.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the variable is a human being driving in that, right? So if you preclude human beings driving in certain areas, so other than remote areas where you can drive and there's no other passengers, let's say you want to come into the city of San Francisco or city of Marin or county of Marin or any of that, from the moment you leave your house, it gives you a little bit of self-driving, like you can drive it yourself, until you reach a point where other cars are going to be on the road. Once you reach that point, it will not let you drive. essentially, unless there's an emergency where you need to take over,
Mm-hmm.
every car there isn't self-driving.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, like train tracks, right? They're all interconnected. They're all interconnected, and the risks of accidents are severe.
Virtually,
Yeah, they're virtually none. It's very safe, and it's essentially like you have your own train route, you have your own bus route, but with your car.
Mm-hmm.
You get in your car, and it takes you to work. You know, and maybe it takes someone else back, or something.
Mm-hmm.
You can have carpool work very efficiently,
Yeah.
right? So maybe 5 people can share the same car. 3 people can share the same car, right? It'll work like a little bus, or you'll have like these bigger. Think about an autonomous bus,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? It's just gonna go a particular
Doing a
route.
bus route, yeah.
Yeah, doing a bus route, and then maybe it'll have a bunch of taxis waiting at the end of the route where it takes you
Individuals.
to the places you need to go. So 90% of the route is all
Mm-hmm.
the same way.
It's not a bad idea.
You know, so everyone gets on the bus. They get, they get on the 101 or whatever.
Mhm.
It takes everyone down,
And
and then it exits, and then you get in a car, and it takes you to
taxis
your
waiting, yeah.
work, your office, wherever you're trying to go to,
It's the first time I've heard that. It's pretty good.
right?
I like that.
So you don't need the taxis to go the entire route. You just
Mhm.
go the short distances where, you know. It'll basically make public transportation that much better,
Yeah, yeah.
point to point.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas right now it's like, oh man, where's the next train stop? Where's the next bus stop? Where's the next underground rail? You know. Anyway, let's take a pause so we can go downstairs a little bit.
Yes, sir.